There's something you said in your introduction interview, which is about being in the right mindset. And we are, the Miracles Directory. We're for holistic healers and holistic healing, mind, body, soul. What is your sort of routine? What do you do for yourself when it comes to mindset, when it comes to spirituality? What do you do?
Me personally, so I go to the gym. Obviously, I meditate every day. I eat pretty clean. Or I eat pretty clean. I eat pretty clean, but I also give myself a little bit of room for for some fun
I like the
things.
way you're like, do I eat clean?
No, no, yeah, no, yeah, I eat pretty. No, no, I definitely eat clean. But then I'm thinking about like, oh, this weekend when I was out. But that's part of it. Like you have to give yourself some room, otherwise you go crazy. I do that. I do a lot of martial arts.
Mm,
I like a lot of physical activity, meditation every day. Um, yeah, and just generally trying to feed my mind with like healthy stuff, reading and you know expand my mindset. Yeah, I'm really big on like personal growth and stuff
mhm.
like that. So
Yeah, as you can tell, so am I. I'm definitely into all of well, probably more heavily into spirituality at the moment, more than anything else. But I have a question. When you are working with clients, and if you have clients that are um, more holistic in nature, is there a difference in the results or a difference in the way they show up than not?
um, I don't think I've found honestly. Um, I don't think I've really found a difference between like a person of who is more like spiritually minded versus people who are a bit more like materialistic or anything. Honestly, um, generally the people who tend to do the best are just the people who can kind of stick to the plan, who are like pretty self aware.
Mm,
Um, that's a big one. And who are also willing to kind of put aside their ego when they need to.
mm.
That's also a big one because that can get in the way. Um, but I would say, yeah, like discipline, kind of putting aside the ego when you need to, and then self awareness. Those are pretty important. But aside from that, like whatever they're eating, as long as they're not eating like crap, but it doesn't matter kind of if they're like vegetarian or meat eaters or whatever. Um, I don't see like a huge difference in the results because of things like that. It's
Oh,
more,
okay. Interesting. Interesting. Um, there's something that you said that I really liked was the self-awareness piece. And how do you work with people who perhaps aren't as self-aware as they need to be to help them move past their hurdles?
kind of like you said, a lot of it is coaching. So like asking questions so they
Mm,
can, um, uh, asking questions so that they can kind of delve into um, themselves and figure out um, like what it is about them that's holding them back.
mm,
Um, and then sometimes like the occasional or sometimes I just have to tell them the answer just because it's something like really specific, but a lot of question asking because I feel um like my first thought is like you always hear this um um like the best way to get somebody to do something is to get them to believe it was like their idea sort of
mm-hmm,
thing. So
mm-hmm,
asking questions both is a good way to motivate people, but also like to like a lot of times like leading questions
mm-hmm,
like that to get them to where I want them to go, whether that is for like an action or to get them to unpack something that
mm,
they're not saying that I'm saying.
mm.
Um, hopefully that answers the
Yeah,
question.
that's great. It's all I'm hearing is just the same things that I do with my clients. It's, you see something, but the best way for them to actually become self aware, for it to be more than just contextual as if they discover it for themselves. And the
Mhm.
best way to do that is by asking questions. So for those listeners out there who think, you're just showing up to, press, do a workout, it's more than just a workout. It's a lot more than that. And I think that I want to emphasize that when you're working with a trainer or a coach, they're in you are and I am invested in the outcome just as much as they are. And it's not about our success, because our success is our client's success, I believe. And so for the listeners, be ready when you're working with a trainer that it's not just about, what it's not just solely about what you're doing in the gym. It's a lot more. And Courtney, I say this in appreciation, because I have worked with trainers who just want to kick your butt, but they're not interested in anything else. And then for me, my experience was I couldn't walk for days because they could push so hard, and me at the time being a people pleaser would be like, okay, I'll try. But to have someone to say, okay, well, why do you actually don't think you can do this? And showing that care and consideration for more than just you're someone that I'm helping get into physical shape. What I'm hearing you say, and maybe you don't realize it, is that you're actually helping them get into mental shape, because you need that mental shape in order to get into physical shape. And then, well, that's my belief anyways. It's all tied in. It's everything is tied in. And once you become more aware of how you show up as a client and how you show up as a coach or a healer, it makes a profound difference. So, on behalf of the people that you work with, if they don't say thank you, I'd like to say thank you, because it takes something to deal with people who don't want to show up. Not everybody is happy to get to the gym at the beginning or in the middle, somewhere in there. I'm sure they're dealing with themselves. So it's really important for the listeners and for us to really understand that it's all a journey, and it takes several different things to help you get to the place you go to. My
Mhm.
final question before we kind of close off today is, one of the things that I see so many people struggle with is sustainability over time. And I know there's something about habits, but also, what else do you feel needs to be incorporated for sustainability? Like, do we need to have coaches for the rest of our lives? Like, what is your opinion on that?
Um, for that, honestly, I think it depends on the person. Um, I think some people like you once you've taught them, then if they are self-motivated, then they can continue on their own after they've learned what they need to learn. But for a lot of people, in my experience, like they're coming to trainers because so I've had multiple people come to me and they're just like, look, I've been working all day. I'm tired. Just tell me what to do. Right. And there's those people too who just want somebody to kind of take the stress off of them, like the load off of their brain, and just have them, and then just have you, just tell them what to do.
Mhm.
And so I see both. So I think it really just depends on what the person is looking for. But I certainly think there are people who once they've learned kind of what I have to give them, then they can certainly go off and do it themselves. But some people want that, and some people don't.